managing diabetics. I'm going to be talking about diet, what to eat and what not to eat as a diabetic patient. It is very important you know what we expected to eat and what to avoid to eat. It's not an option. As a diabetic, it's not an option that you must consume everything. There are certain things you have to drop, and there are certain things you have to now start eating, even if you don't do it in the past. So first, what are those foods you should try to avoid? Number one is avoid foods that are high in carbohydrates. Every food that are high in carbohydrates, please try as much as I can to avoid them. Always know the content of the things you are consuming. Read the content. Know how to count your carbs. All right. What are those foods that are high in carbohydrates? For example, you're talking about gari, cassava, you're talking of yam, you're talking of fufu. Okay. These are extremely high in carbohydrates. And why should you avoid them? Because as soon as you consume them and it enters into your system, it converts those carbohydrates into energy, into sugar, into your bloodstream. So instead of helping yourself to bring your sugar level normal, okay, you are even adding more to it, because once those carbohydrates enter your system, it converts it into energy and sugar into your bloodstream, and thereby raising your sugar level and causing more damages. So avoid food that are high in carbohydrate. You are expected to eat food that are high in fiber, vegetables, proteins, and vitamins. But number one thing to avoid food that are high in carbohydrate. Number two, choosing the right grain. Not all grains are good for diabetic. You must know the kind of grains you are consuming. When I say grains, I mean grain. Okay, you have to choose the right grains. Most of the grains are high in fiber. As a diabetic, you're supposed to consume more fiber than carbohydrate. So choosing the right grain is very important. If you're eating a white bread, ditch it and go for brown bread. Okay? If you're eating a white egg, ditch it. Okay? And go for those eggs that are high in vitamin D. Okay? There are eggs for diabetic and there are eggs for undiabetic people. So you have to go for the right grains. If you're eating a white rice, you have to ditch it, because white rice are high in carbohydrate and the glycerol index in white rice is high. So always go for brown rice. Brown rice is good for a diabetic patient because it's digests slowly, okay, and it doesn't raise your blood sugar so high than a white rice. So you have to know how to choose the right grains. Consume brown rice rather than white rice. Consume brown bread instead of the white bread. These are very important, okay? Instead of eating potato, go for peas. Peas are high in fiber. Number three, ditch ready-to-eat breakfast options. If you are used to rushing out in the morning and going to the street, going to the restaurant on the street or to the joint to grab a breakfast, if you're a diabetic, ditch it, stop it. One, you don't know what is the content of those breakfasts you are buying. You don't know how it's been prepared. So eating something that you do not prepare, you don't know the content, as a diabetic is not a good option. So you have to ditch it. Rather, go for egg in the morning, 2 slices of brown bread in the morning, toasted or untoasted, no butter, and a cup of tea. And ditch anything that comes with granola and cereals. Because with cereals, you have to consume a lot of milk, and milk contains a lot of sugar. So you have to ditch those things. So ditch ready-to-go breakfast in the morning. Rather, prepare your breakfast at home. Take it before you rush out. That's number three. Number four, nuts. Fruits may be sweet and tangy. Some of them are also high in carbs. Just know that. Some nuts are high in carbs that can raise your blood sugar level. Try opting for some nuts which will offer you the right combination of healthy fat, carbs, and proteins. Not all nuts are good for diabetic. Not all nuts that as a diabetic you cannot consume. You have to choose the right nuts that can add more healthy fat to your body, carbs, and proteins. Okay? So most of the fruit you eat contains sugar, but you have to choose the right fruit. Okay? So choosing the right food as a diabetic is very, very important. Three things as a diabetic you have to understand: that you have to eat a healthy fat food, low carbs, proteins. Counting your carb as a diabetic is very important. You have to know how to count your carbs. Watch the content of the food you are buying from the store to know the carbohydrate quantity and know how much to consume. Once you're a diabetic patient, you have to know how to count your carbs. Nuts, you have to avoid eating nuts. Not all nuts are healthy for a diabetic individual. So choosing the right nuts that are healthy in fat, proteins, and have low carbs, low calories is very important. Number 5, snack wisely. What do I mean by snack wisely? Choosing the right snacks, SNACK, is very important. That's why I say snack wisely. Choosing the right snack is very important. People with diabetes should avoid having biscuits and oat bars. Remember, people with diabetes should avoid having biscuit. Biscuit contains a lot of sugar. And oat bars. Oat bars contains a lot of sugar and chocolate. If you feel like munching some snacks, then pick some protein snacks from the store. That's why I say you have to watch what you consume, know how to count your carbs. As a diabetic, protein is very important in your body. Low calories is very important in your body. Healthy fat food are very important. So know how to snack wisely. Avoid biscuits and oat bars. All right? Because not all biscuits or almost all biscuits are not good for a diabetic individual. So people with diabetes should avoid having biscuits and oat bars. If you feel like munching some snacks, then pick some protein snacks at the store or have them in your bag if you are leaving home. Number 6, chewing gum, candy should not be on your list as a diabetic individual. If you're a diabetic, if you're in the past chewing gum or candies, it is now time to avoid those items. Chewing gum and candy should not be in your list. Flavored chewing gums and candies are often loaded with artificial sweetness and can upset your gut. They should be replaced with natural sugars like monk fruit and erythritol. Okay? Erythritol. That is ERYTHRITOL. You have to replace those chewing gum and candies with natural sugars like monk fruit and erythritol. Okay? According to the nutritionist, microbiome affect inflammation in the tongue and in turn affects our sugar level in our body's capacity to handle blood sugar. According to the nutritionist, the microbiome affect inflammation and in turn affect our sugar level or our body's capacity to handle blood sugars. So this is the 6th item on my list as a diabetic individual to avoid and what to eat. You have to consume more fiber, proteins, possible vitamin. Okay? So that you'll be able to bring your sugar level in your bloodstream under control and to avoid any complication that will affect your organs. So it's important that you stick to this. And if you can stick to this, you're on the way, to live a normal life, even though you are a diabetic. So once friends, I thank you for watching my channel. Please, I want you guys to leave a comment, share and subscribe to my channel so that each and every time that I drop a new video, you'll be the first to be notified. Please kindly comment, subscribe, and share. I want to hear.